What's up, chess players? It's Rafi Chaudhary here today, and in this video, I'm gonna be playing a 15-minute game. As you guys can see, I'm starting the the King's Indian, and yeah, should be a fun game. So let's see what happens here. So typical King's Indian defense. I'm gonna go ahead and play the move e5 next, and I wonder if I've made a mistake with e5. Honestly. Oh, yeah, I think I played that way too fast because he can just take. Oh, he missed it. He could have taken and actually he could have in fact won a pawn. I believe I just dropped a pawn. So that was a close call. I'm glad that we got out of that quickly. So my rook here is looking a little bit silly at this point. So I'm gonna think about maybe, you know, let's go here and really pressure this pawn on e4. If he plays b5, b4 here, I can take, and then pick up the rook here, so he can't take that. And he probably has to play rook e1, queen c2, queen e2, possibly knight d2, or all those moves make sense. Now this move, he is okay using the bishop to target this. Kind of a strange way to protect, but it works. We can definitely say that the idea works for sure. I'm thinking maybe I can play bishop g4, but then comes f3, and then I have to move my bishop again. Perhaps I can make him play f3 and then put the bishop to d7, and after that, just kind of getting a tempo on that piece. And now the knight here looks a little out of place. We could definitely say that much. Now that the bishop is on e3, I'm thinking maybe I can play b6, or maybe I can play queen c1 and let him take here on b6. If he takes that, I mean, probably be okay. Probably will be fine. Will not be an issue here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this move. Just go ahead and prepare for an exchange of pieces here and let him take this direction. Because now my pieces are going to come onto the d file and start harassing him on the d file. And I can always play b6 and hold on to this, and this pawn is pretty well protected, so it's not going to be an issue. So Himling is rated 2052 in Blitz, so a pretty strong player, of course. Plays queen to c2. I could offer him a bishop trade here, but he can trap my queen in there. No, he can't, actually. Trap the queen, so just kidding on that one. You know, on second thought, I'm not sure if trading that bishop was the best idea there, because... Yeah, because his bishop is so bad. Or do I just want to get rid of that guy? Move the bishop back. I don't want to give that bishop so early and bring his queen into a wonderful position over here. I mean, why? Why do that, is the question. There's no need for it. I want to get my knight into d6. That's definitely a thing I want to do very soon here, so let's go ahead and prepare for that. Let's put this guy here and then play knight e8, knight d6. May even consider playing this bishop takes b4 and then playing the knight d6. Now I'm wondering if I should take and then play knight e8, or should I? He will play f4, that's the thing. I think I'm okay with him playing f4, honestly. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm gonna go ahead and put this knight on a beautiful square here. If he plays this move f6, I could just play bishop to h8 and keep pressuring this pawn all the time. If he takes the knight, then I just take back with the c pawn. Fixing my pawn structure. So he takes and opens things up a little bit. That's it's interesting here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this direction. So he wants to go ahead and pile up on f7. I could tell that for sure. Let's use this opportunity to threaten to play bishop e3 to pin the rook. It's likely he'll play something like king h1. Okay, that works as well. But now comes this move, harassing the queen a little bit more. He does have bishop f3 in this position, by the way. Yeah, I thought about that move. Just drawing the bishop back again. Let's go ahead and give some protection to this pawn. Yeah, here in just a moment, I'm gonna go ahead and start to pull my pawn pieces in this direction. I'm gonna go ahead and trade off the knight on b5 and then start piling all my pieces in this way. I don't know where that knight's headed to. Exactly. But I do know I want to get rid of that pesky knight that's hitting c7 and tying my pieces up a lot. Now I've got some room to breathe with my queen and stuff like that. And penetrate on these dark squares basically is my idea overall. This pawn is pretty weak though, that's one thing we have to think about. I feel like he just lost a piece on that transaction. Because now I can take this with check first and then take this one. So yeah, we have an extra rook and this should be hopefully a very easily winning game. Oh, I just missed queen f5, f6 check. Oh, he missed it too. Both playing really fast here. Can I just play f5? And just pile up on the f file right now? You know? Like this way. Just trade everything off. Trades happen. I'm just up a rook. Yeah, that was pretty lucky there. We both missed a lot of stuff there. What can I say about the game? It was just a very lucky win overall because we made, I feel like I made quite a few mistakes. So, basically what happened there is yeah, let's review this and see what we can come up with. All right, so let's see here. Let's give it a second here for the computer to finish the analysis so we can go ahead and look at this real quick. Yeah, I feel like the major mistake that he really made is just missing the bishop takes e3 in between move. I feel like until then, things were pretty even. Definitely a strong player. By no means was he a weak player or anything like that. Yeah, we can start looking at it now. I think the analysis is mostly finished here. So yeah, after d4, knight f6, c4, g6, and we basically go into this King's Indian sort of style. And now here is where I made some mistakes. I started playing inaccurate from here, I think. So what I did here is I played rook to e8. And then I actually quickly played this e5, and I think that kind of loses a piece. Does it lose a piece, really? It takes, I take. It takes, I take. And then he just grabs this pawn, then what? Where did we go wrong with this? He just grabs this. Yeah, he's definitely better. Why was the computer saying 0.8? I'm not sure. White's definitely much better here. It's just up a pawn. So e5 is definitely a mistake. Let's see in the book, is there e5 anywhere in here? Nope, no e5s. Computer does not recognize e5 as a mistake. I'm not sure why. Should definitely be a mistake. Why is it not a mistake? What? It's not even an inaccuracy, really? Even though the advantage is so huge, why is this not an inaccuracy at the very least? So here I just played quickly, I think, and I just missed that he can just take that. But anyway, he didn't do it, so we just got into this closed structure. And so yeah, the idea with knight a5 is just to basically put the knight on a6 and bring the knight to c5, which is what I did in the game. I just don't feel like he played the most accurate way when he played this knight h4. I mean, knight on the rim is dim and his chances are slim, so I don't think that's the best way to defend that pawn. He could have just played queen c2, honestly. Or bishop g5, even better, honestly, just pinning the knight. But here I just get this in between move, bishop to g4, and then he has to play basically this f3, and I brought the bishop back to d7, awkwardly putting his knight on the side of the board, and it doesn't have many squares to go to even. So then I've now played, I'm gonna go back to this position actually. After d5, what's the best move here? a5, is that even a thing? So a5 is even not a move being suggested by the computer, I see, okay. It's not a bad move, I don't think. It's a typical idea in this position. Knight a6, c5, h4, d7 is what's suggested. But this move, queen c8 is what I played. That's a mistake. Okay, knight h5 was best. I see, I see. The computer doesn't recommend taking the knight, by the way, either. Surprisingly. But yeah, trading these bishops definitely was not the right idea, trying to trade them, because I mean, his bishop is clearly worse with all of these pawns in front of it. Has no future whatsoever, so why would I ever trade these bishops off? I think he should have just taken the bishop. But he played this, and that's when I realized my mistake, so I brought the bishop right back. It's pretty funny how that happened. Yeah, after a4, I mean, it's a closed position, and all I need to do now is just get my knight to the d6 square, and hopefully I'll have a solid position. I thought about taking on b5 for a while, but I just wanted to play it at the perfect time. Apparently this knight e8 is a huge mistake. And he can take the pawn on e5, apparently. F takes, bishop takes, knight f3. He's getting some tempos on me, I guess, with the central pawns, yeah. That's exactly what it is. But he chooses to push through with the pawn, and then I get my knight to the d6 square finally. He takes, I took with the h pawn. Rook f2 was played. I played the bishop h3 idea. h6, the idea bishop e3. He brought the queen over, and then that's when I attacked the queen again. Bishop f3 was played, brought the bishop back again. b3 was played, b6 was played by me, solidifying the pawn on c5, making sure it doesn't come under attack. A lot of times, if you leave your pieces hanging, your opponent will attack them and create a double attack. So I just want to kind of keep my pieces all protected at all times as much as possible. So here I just started playing a little bit passive, I think, but I needed to because my rook on d8 really wouldn't have much of a future anyway. At some point, my pawn break is probably going to be f5, so I just intuitively brought the rook back towards the king side to give it some support to that side of the board. He shuffled his knight around for a little bit. Now is when I took the knight on b5, but it's a mistake apparently. f5 was better. I wanted to go ahead and just close that whole possibility of him sacrificing on c7. I just didn't like that idea. Not sacrificing, but taking the pawn. My queen is tied down to him, his knight, so I just didn't like that idea. Queen d8 was played by me. Plays this move, and he just loses after that, I think. Yeah. Here he has a huge advantage after knight c4. I was really worried about this e5 pawn, honestly. And I felt like he would have been much better after knight c4. But he played this instead, which is a blunder, and now he just loses a piece. Should have taken my rook back. He lost really bad after taking that, because I took this with check in between move. I can just up a rook now. Here you could have played queen f6 check, but he missed that also. So I brought my queen in, and then yeah. From here it was just over f5, and the whole position was just completely collapsed. I just took everything. Rook brought, queen came in, hit her off the queens, and then just yeah, it's just an easy win from here. So yeah, interesting game. Definitely lots of mistakes from both sides. I made some huge mistakes. He did too. We both made a blunder each. He just had a little bit more inaccuracies than I did. So yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game, and I will catch you guys in the next video. It's Rafi Chaudhry signing out from Lee Chess.